A hard year of battling up and down the East Coast has come to this. It's round 5 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars back at Sydney Motorsport Park for the first time in a few years, and we cannot wait to attack this South Circuit. I'm Dave Carter, and in the commentary booth with me is Jake Kennedy. Mate, what a field we have in front of us.
The field is absolutely amazing. We've got stars left, right and centre here, and the big name to be is Dwayne McKeever, all the way from the IDC Championship.
Big internationals, Dwayne McKeever, also Matt Van Kirk down from Formula Drift. So drivers from different comps from all over the world coming to Sydney Motorsport Park to battle it out with the best in the country. It surely is a star-studded field, and we've had some championship points stack up the whole way through the series that I'm sure a lot of these drivers will be looking to pick up. We've got Beau Yates with a dominating lead on 388 points in front. Unless there is some grave misfortune here, I'd say he's wrapped up his second championship in a row. But below him, Matt Van Kirk, Scott Chembry and Aaron Jouar, all within a tight separation of each other, with, of course, Mo El Houli, who's come up from Victoria and taken this field by storm with his aggressive driving style. Before we see some of the battles, though, let's head to the pits with J-Mac.
Beau Yates, having qualified here at round 5 for Hi-Tec Drift Australia, you have effectively sealed the championship. First of all, congratulations, but the day is not done. You're looking to take home a great result, aren't you?
Yeah, obviously no pressure this weekend. We wrapped up the championship last weekend, or 2 weekends ago in Calder Park, so pressure's off, but I've handed the keys to Matt this weekend, so hopefully he can finish off his year campaign and get second in the championship.
Yeah, this car is unbelievable. By far the best drift car I've ever driven. Huge thanks to Beau for letting me drive it. He worked really hard this week. He had an engine failure, and he swapped a new block in from Toyota, and it's been purring all weekend. And luckily, I came into the round. I didn't have a car because unfortunately Paul Alexander's car it also had an engine failure. So Beau was kind enough and nice enough to loan me his car for the weekend. And like you said, we're coming in second in the championship right now, and we're hoping to keep going and put on a great show for everybody.
Well, yeah, I got my manhood back. We've got the big V8 again, so see how it goes this weekend. The car's a bit tired after all the events and a bit of thrashing I've given to it, so bit of fun driving the other couple of cars. Turbo cars, something a bit different for once, so yeah.
And what was giving you issues at Calder Park? We saw you jump into Angus Kidd's Supra to finish your battles. We're back now in the V8. What have you fixed?
We had a couple of clutch issues. The throwout bearing, the release bearing on the clutch seized up. So Angus was kind enough to lend me his car, and I seemed to wreck it as well, but that happens. It's racing.
It's going a lot more well than World Time Attack. So I had a few issues over there. Done an alternator upgrade, 150 amps, so no more battery voltage issues. Other than that, the new clutch is in it now. So just seat time and just concentrate on myself and skills.
How important is a good measure of speed on this layout?
Well, yeah, you have to, because if you're too slow, then the chase car is going to be all over you. So you kind of have to have that level playing field, You can't be too fast, can't be too slow, you know what I mean? So
Josh Botcher piloting the MCA 370Z this weekend at round 5 for the Hi-Tec Drift Australia Series. Give us a quick rundown on your thoughts of the competition here. Some of the drivers are really top level, aren't they? Yeah,
look, it's not going to be an easy run. So I think we've qualified well, and yeah, I know that there's plenty of guys to look out for in the championship, and we're going to try and go all the way, obviously, but yeah, it won't be easy.
Bogger O'Grady currently leading the Pro-Am division, but you are right up there with Gricey snapping at your heels. How are you feeling coming into the final round?
Look, we're feeling pretty good. New to the track, so there's a lot of hype behind the South Circuit. Hi-Tec, obviously, were here a few years ago, so it's good to be here. The track is amazing. It does suit a high horsepower car with lots of grip, so hopefully it comes down to a battle between me and Gricey. We're on opposite sides of the tree, so it could definitely come down to that. We have a lead of 58 points, but it doesn't really mean much. It all comes down to battles. If I potato and get knocked out early and Gricey wins, it'll be very, very close points.
A lot of drivers running their calculations down in the pits and working out where a good result could place them. And the first step of that is qualifying, with James Abbott having a dream result after battling some issues with that fresh car known as Nigella. Josh Botcher, Michael Bonney, Matt Van Kirk and Aaron Jouar rounding out our top 5, with Scott Chembry just a couple of points behind.
It's been an incredible build-up, and top qualifying is no mean feat. A fantastic effort. How are you feeling coming into competition?
Yeah, a lot of confidence after last night. We've been given an awesome opportunity this year to drive the Hi-Tec Oils car, and we've spent most of the year just chasing issues in it, but it's starting to feel really good. It felt good at Calder. We are unlucky to have some mechanical failures there, but I just brought that confidence in with me last night and laid down 2 good laps and walked away with first place, and that's got me feeling pretty good about going into battles now.
It's good to see Jabs getting a handle on this freshly built car that throughout the season has thrown him a bit of curveballs, but it seems to be loving this South Circuit layout that we're looking down now. A nice downhill entry into an uphill section with a couple of corners. It's sure to be a cracking top 16, Jake.
Oh, this top 16 is absolutely amazing. We've got some of the big stars versing each other straight in the top 16 battle. First up, one battle that I'm looking forward to is Mitchell Doyle versus the IDC champion Dwayne McKeever. He is absolutely on fire on this track, and to take an upset, he'd be hard to beat.
Oh, another one to keep an eye on is Scott Shemry up against Beau Yates, facing off against each other in the top 16. They're both going to be out for blood. But first, Scott Shemry's teammate and our top qualifier, James Abbott, is leading Angus Kidd. As they come over the hill now, both drivers needed carrying a bit of speed there, entering nice and together. But Angus seemed to be expecting a bit more speed from Jabs there, just tucking right in on that door, backing out, and then back on the power again, switching back here. That Game On Motorsport Supra just seems to have a little bit of extra speed over the Hi-Tec Blaze Unit S15, but I'm sure Jabs will know all about that as he now gets the opportunity to chase Angus Kidd.
Angus Kidd here in the lead there. Nice entry by him. Big entry by Nigella coming up right up the backside of that Game On's Motorsports. But Angus just bettering the line there right to the outside again through that switchback. A little bit wide through there. The judges will probably pick on him for that. And then right up the inside over the hill.
Heading to the replay now, we can see both drivers nice and close to each other as they come down the hill here for the entry. Both on the handbrake there and out to that outside barrier. Angus nailing that inside clip there, pushing wide into the outside zone that the judges were looking for there, but then switching back just a touch wide on that middle clip there. And that's seen the judges call it a one more time. Let's run him again.
So James Abbott in the lead for the one more time. Massive entry there by Abbott. And looks like he wound on the angle there a bit too much there. We can see a little bit of a wobble from the front end of that S15, but a big dive by Angus Kidd up the inside. Right there, looks like he's dialed on too much angle and a big mistake. It looks like he's handed some points straight over to Jabbett.
Let's switch him around now. It's time for Angus Kidd to lead with James Abbott in the chase. And look, Angus is on the power. He knows that that previous mistake and a bit of an over-rotation is going to hurt him. So he is up that Game On Motorsport Supra, wide to the outside clip there. A bit nicer on that later clip as well, where we saw him run wide in the first run. Just seemed to pull away pretty quickly from the Hi-Tec S15, which did get in close through the midfield though, Jake.
Yeah, he looked real comfortable there and right through that midfield. But again, as we can see from the chase camera in James Abbott's car, that correction through that top hill there looks like he was a little bit shallow and a little bit of a straighten. That's going to hurt his points.
Game faces are on drivers getting into the shade and the comfort of the ARDC garage down in South Circuit pits, taking in the action and keeping an eye on their competition. Next battle up, and we are riding on board with the international superstar Dwayne McKeever in the CRC BMW M3, chasing Mitch Doyle, who is blazing his way up the South Circuit hill there, front bumper all over the inside clip, but Dwayne is right there with him as they cross the line.
Here we are with Dwayne's lead up against Mitchell Doyle, right through that inner clipping zone. He's absolutely pumping through that section there. Big dive by Mitchell Doyle onto the champion there. Big switchback. These boys are not to be separated right through that upper hill, and these boys are both right on door.
As we head to the replay, Mitch Doyle tucking in nicely, but the speed of that CRC M3 with, of course, Dwayne McKeever behind the wheel, nailing that outside judge clip, coming through that middle section there and just widening a touch too wide after that inside clip there, but both drivers very difficult to separate, and that's why the judges have decided to send them one more time.
With Mitchell Doyle taking the lead there for the one more time. Nice entry right through to that outer clipping zone, and big dive up the inside from Dwayne McKeever, sitting right on the back of that Nightcliff Electrical S13. Again, filling that outer clipping zone, smoke pouring right out. Looks like Dwayne's run into a bit of trouble there behind the switchback. From the onboard, as we can see, looks like he's got it up and running again and ready for battles.
Turning him around now, Dwayne McKeever with a beautiful entry there, feigning one way, then straight out to that outside clipping zone and against the barriers. What a machine, but Mitch Doyle is right there with him, not giving up an inch as both these cars come over the hill. That is a beautiful chase run there from Mitch Doyle and a great lead from Dwayne as well, but I think that car drama in the first run might be sending him home.
I think so. Looking from that aggressive entry and massive entry in Dwayne McKeever style, it looks like he knew that he was going home. But look, straight through that switchback again, winding on the lock and a big dive up the inside there from Mitchell Doyle. Looking like he takes the win.
Another big battle straight up where we have Patrick Barley all the way down from the Northern Territory in that sprint car engine powered S15 up against a very familiar car here, the Toyota Genuine Parts 86. But what? That's Matt Van Kirk behind the wheel. Seems instantly at home behind the wheel of Beau Yates' car on the power and blazing his way up the hill.
Here we are, we switch them around now with Patrick Barley in the lead, Matt Van Kirk in the chase in the borrowed car, right up the inside there on Patrick Barley. Nice switchback through there from Matt Van Kirk, holding a nice line in the chase there behind him. Patrick Barley looking like he's got a bit more speed coming up the final section of the hill.
Oh, that sprint car engine is putting out a glorious noise, and Patrick Barley using every bit of that cubic inch V8 power to smoke his way up the hill, but seemed just a little bit wide over that clip there. I guess the superior speed and pulling away from Matt Van Kirk is what secured him the spot in the top 8.
And here we are on to the next battle with Aaron Jouar in the lead against Brad Toohey. Aaron Jouar with a massive entry right through that first clipping zone, filling that outer clipping zone and cooking all cubic inches of that 416 cube right up the hill there, leaving Brad Toohey for dead over the top.
That is one wild, naturally aspirated V8 of Aaron Jouar that we ride on board with now, but Brad Toohey as well over there getting the opportunity to lead, although will he pull ahead there in the twin supercharged 86? Jouar right there with him, seemed to be thrown off by a bit of the slow entry there from Brad Toohey. It took a bit of time to come off the line, but that didn't stop him from throwing down in the chase and tucking right in again through this last section here. That's uncharacteristic of Brad Toohey. We did expect a bit more speed from him, Jake.
As we can see, yeah, Aaron looks like he was expecting a bit more speed with that big reverse entry, not unsettling his car, nor did he unsettle Brad Toohey's. Right through that outer clipping zone, diving straight back up onto the door there. Brad Toohey not giving him inch. Looks like that's the judges giving him a one more time.
Yeah, struggling to separate him, so let's run him again as Jouar's turn to lead now with Brad Toohey in the chase. Both nicely running through that section there. Just a slight hesitation on the transition back there from Brad Toohey, but he is right there all over the back of that Cloud Factory Jouar Racing Engines S14. But let's switch him around.
Here we have Brad Toohey in the lead. Looking like a bit of a stall there, and Aaron was over his shoulder looking to see where he's come from. Right through that first clipping zone, both of their cars front end deep into that zone. Again, Aaron with that big entry in the chase right up onto the door. Looks like he's wound on too much angle there and caused himself some mischief.
That's going to be a really difficult one to call, because as much as we've seen some low speed from Brad Toohey earlier in the run, as you called, Jake, an over-rotation right here where Jouar just winds on a bit too much lock there. He does manage to claw it back through the rest of the hill, but in the judges' eyes, that will give Brad Toohey the win.
It's good to see some of the boys and the fans out there loving it just as much as we are up here. On to the next battle with Josh Botcher in the MCA car with Danny Probert in the chase all the way from the Northern Territory. Looking like Josh has settled himself at home here with nice entry into that second clipping zone. Again, in a clipping zone again, right through over the top of the hill. Just a little bit more speed and superior form from him.
Yeah, very fast drive there from Josh Botcher, so it's going to be interesting to see how he managed to reel that MCA suspension 370Z back in the chase behind Danny Probert. But when X Drift is on the noise, it is a fast car, and we're seeing that now from Danny into the outside clip there. Front bumper over the inside clip, and now it's his turn to leave the chase car behind. That is going to be a hard one to split, Jake.
Mate, that barrier is absolutely singing today, and as we can see from the replay, he's dialed that car in with plenty of grit through that first section, through that switchback, right to the outside clipping zone, on the bake, right through quick transition, and absolutely smashing gears up that hill. That's good to see from him.
This seems to be the day of the one more time. We get to watch them drive again with Josh Botcher out in the lead and Danny Probert chasing that we ride on board with now. Just seems that little bit of a step behind with the MCA suspension 370Z, but as they come over the hill, Danny Probert reels in Josh Botcher.
Danny Probert looking like he's in form today, and here he is with the lead again against Josh Botcher. Josh pushing him there for the inside clip right through. Massive entry there by Danny Probert. Holding onto it, winding on, plenty of lock. Right to the outer zone, and big dive by Josh Botcher. Straight up through that inside. Looks like he's got a tyre off there. That could cause him some points deduction. Hopefully it hasn't hurt him too much.
Let's watch that again with Danny Probert in the lead there. Josh Botcher tucking in nicely and using this tactically up the hill. We see him get a little bit closer here and then a little bit closer again on the transition. But by doing that, he's popped one wheel off the course, which is a point deduction, and just enough to see Danny Probert go through to the top 8.
With the next battle up, John Overduris from the Pro-Am class stepping up into the Pro class against Anthony Billick. Looking like he had a little bit more speed there in his 32 against that S13. But again, dialed in way too much speed, pushing the rear right off course there. That's going to be a big deduction on his behalf. Anthony Billick right through the chase and sticking right on him.
That's got to hurt for Jono. He's going to know that he has to do something special here with Anthony Billick in the lead, who's very familiar with his South Circuit course. Nailed that outside clip there. Again, through the inside clip, up the hill here, and really nailing that judge line there. So it's going to be a question of whether the mistake from Jono earlier on or the mistake from Billick on his first chase entry is going to be the sum of this battle.
And it's looking like an absolutely textbook entry there from Anthony Billick in the lead. Through that replay, we can see he's pushed hard in all of those clipping zones, and that's a good win by him.
Next battle now, we're riding on board with Mo El Hooley. He'll be chasing Michael Bonney, that you can see just nosing ahead there in that 1200 horsepower JZ powered S15 with the Turbo LS S13 of Garage Works behind. What a battle of the Titans. Let's have a listen. Blazing up that hill there, and a fantastic battle. We'll switch him around now with Mo El Hooley now leading Michael Bonney.
And the big typical entry there from Mo El Hooley, loving this South Circuit right through that zone there, filling it all the way to the judges' criterion, a little bit shallow on that switchback, and Michael Bonney right behind him with a big snapping transition right up onto the door there.
Let's watch that again. Mo El Hooley all over that outside entry zone and right against the barriers, pushing deep into the outfield there as well, and then switching around up here. But Michael Bonney's superior speed has got him through. Let's head down to the pits with J-Mac.
Danny Probert, your very first season as a fully fledged pro, and you've taken out Josh Botcher in your last battle. What are the feelings running through your head right now?
It's pretty incredible. Like, I guess with the mindset in this sort of, when you're out there, you can't, you know, I was thinking I had to make him take the win, so I wasn't going to lay down. So I'm thrilled that I've got through Josh. He's such a fierce competitor, absolute gentleman as well. I nearly stalled it on the line. He actually stopped, and on my first lead run, and he gave me the opportunity to creep back up. So yeah, huge thanks to Josh for that one.
We're looking forward to your next battle with Anthony Billick, so we'll get to that in just a while. But in the meantime, back to commentary.
It's the mix between sportsmanship and friendly competition that makes me love drifting. So Danny Probert through to the top 8, and both of these huge drivers, Scott Shembry in the lead and Beau Yates in the chase, both battling it out in the top 16. This is massive, and Beau Yates lost a little bit in the smoke there, heading wide and dropping a wheel. Another wheel drop here as Scott Shembry blazes away in the Hi-Tec 350Z in the lead.
Beau Yates knowing that he's got to make up for his chase run here and now in the lead against Scott Shembry. Big dive up there by Scott, right again into the outer clip zone, and oh no, he's gone right off track there. Beau Yates has just run it back there, right through the top of the zone, absolutely frothing over the top of the hill.
That is a huge result. We ride on board with Scott Shembry now and watch him make almost a mirror of the mistake we saw from Beau earlier. Big smoke screen across the front of the car, going wide and then dropping a couple of wheels through here, with Scott's mistake just a little bit more severe, and Beau getting his spot in the top 8, where we'll see him up against Michael Bonney, with Danny Probert and Anthony Billick making up one side of our top 8.
And on the other side of the battle ladder, we've got James Abbott, Mitchell Doyle, and then the next battle will be Patrick Barley and Brad Toohey. Another repeat from the last round against them two. It'll be good to see them boys battling up yet again on another South Circuit. Beautiful day.
A star-studded Pro top 8, but on the other side of the break, we're going to dive into our Famous Insurance Pro-Am. Don't go anywhere. We are back for round 5 and the final of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars for 2019 at Sydney Motorsport Park South Circuit that we're looking down the barrel of now. A beautiful up and downhill section where we've seen drivers go head-to-head in our Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Pro Series so far. Before we get into the top 8 action of that, we do have the top 4 of our Famous Insurance Pro-Am class, where we'll see our up-and-coming talent go head-to-head and fight their way out for a podium.
It's good to see Adam Burgess, Brendan O'Grady in the first battle of your top 4. And on the bottom half of your battle tree, you've got John Overduris and Glenn Ormerod. Both of these guys battled hard all day to get to where they are. And it's good to see Glenn joining us back here and making it all the way through to the top 4.
Certainly is, Jake. And to remind you all at home, this is our top 4 battles. So the winner of these battles will be battling out for the top step in the final, while the loser of the battle will get an opportunity to battle for 3rd place. Our first of the runs now, we have John Overduris leading Glenn Ormerod. Glenn Ormerod in the 13B powered K70 Corolla with John Overduris, the big LS powered R32. And you can see the speed and power allowing him to stretch those legs up the hill.
Yeah, big speed coming out of John Overduris' car. Him doing double duties. As we can see, he's well intact with his track right to that outer clipping zone. Nice switchback right through there. Front end right over the clipping zone and big power straight over the hill.
Quite a tidy lead from John Overduris, so it's going to be down to Glenn Ormerod in the lead here and how close Jono can get to him, tucking right in there on the rear quarter of that little K70 Corolla. And as they come back over the hill, there's contact. Looks like the rear bumper of Glenn Ormerod's car coming into contact with John Overduris' front bar. We'll need to see that one again to work out where the fault lay in that one, Jake.
Yeah, that was a quick switch back here, and as we're going through the replay, big entry there by Jono right behind Glenn. It's good to see these boys. This is your Pro-Am guys throwing down, and as we're looking here at this replay, right through that clipping zone, that's where he's come in contact, and that's where Glenn has pulled the button on the battle, and looks like that's what's given him the win.
Didn't look like Jono altered Glenn's line there too much, so the judges siding with Jono there with his tight chase technique. Let's move on to the next battle now. We have Brendan O'Grady in that colourful JZX 100 Mark II, chasing down Adam Burgess in the Aussie equivalent of a JZX, the mighty XR6 Turbo Falcon.
Yeah, it's good to see that BA Barra absolutely frying through there, and Adam plenty of seat time this season. And it's good to see Brendan Bogger O'Grady right there on the inside. Big clip zone through the inside there, and again, right back up. A little bit of a straighten there from Bogger, giving Adam a clear advantage.
Both drivers doing really nicely on the judge line there, so as we switch them around, it's going to be pretty level pegging. Looked like Bogger just a little late to get on the power there on the exit, which caused Adam Burgess to have a bit of a delay, but they're switching back nicely together up the hill. This is a beautiful run from these two drivers, showing the talent that our Pro-Am has to offer.
Yeah, a much cleaner run here by Brendan Bogger O'Grady. You can see the sheer power in that JZX right through that clipping zone, absolutely cooking those tyres through. Nice transition there, just a bit wider line there by Adam Burgess, and it's clear to see that he's taken the win from his lead run, and it's great to see him all the way through for his first final battle for first place against Jonathan Voudouris.
Then in the battle for third and trying to get that coveted 3rd place trophy only one of these drivers can go home with, it'll be Glenn Ormerod up against Brendan O'Grady in our battle for third.
And that's our final battle tree for our Pro-Am. But first, let's get back over to our Pro class with the top 8 and have a look at the tree and see where everyone's settled in.
The Hi-Tec Drift Allstars has been hot battles the whole day on South Circuit, and in our top 8, we have James Abbott up against Mitchell Doyle. Patrick Barley and Brad Tu will be facing off in the battle of two very different V8s. Danny Probert up against Anthony Billick, and sure to be one hell of a battle is Michael Bonney up against Beau Yates. The first battle of our Pro Top 8 now, we have James Abbott leading Mitchell Doyle. Both drivers quite fast down that hill, and as they get on the power, it seems to me that James Abbott has a bit of an advantage in road speed. But as I say it, Mitch Doyle just reeling him back in through the last section of that run and up over the hill. It's going to be a hard one for the judges to call, Jake.
Yeah, big thanks to our good ride replay here, and we can see big dive there by Mitchell Doyle, straight on the back there of the Hi-Tec Blaze Unit S15. But again, diving straight back in, almost taking the rear end of James Abbott's car out, but staying composed and right in that smoke zone, right to the top of the hill.
We'll swing him around now as the judges get another look at these two drivers together. Mitch Doyle now leading as James Abbott chases. Looks like he's gone a little bit too shallow there on that first corner and ripped the front bar off Nigella, the Hi-Tec Oils S15. Mitch Doyle on the power and on the clipping zones, but James Abbott seeming to have a bit more speed through the last section.
Yeah, his speed's been dialed in all day, but Mitchell Doyle, these guys, this is a battle for these ones. Right through each one, taking a section in time, and we can see from here, Mitchell Doyle dialing in that clipping zone right through the inner zone. And again, James Abbott finishing right up on the rear bar there of Mitchell Doyle.
Good win for Mitch as a quite consistent driver in the lead there. Let's move on with Patrick Barley chasing down Brad Toohey up the hill. Let's listen to these V8s roar.
Both boys absolutely singing over the top of that hill. It's good to hear both of those V8s sing. Here we are on the Good Ride replay again, on board with Patrick Barley. You can see the handwork from this kid right up there with the master Brad Toohey, right through the inside, dialing it in, and what a chase run by him.
Barley seemed very comfortable there in the cockpit, and here we can see him pulling away from Brad Toohey almost before the entry there, with Brad Toohey again just that little bit slow off the line. Patrick Barley nailing that inside clipping zone, and Toohey taking a shallower line to try reel him back in, but it seems to be too little too late for Brad Toohey.
Yeah, he was left behind there at the start and looking like Patrick Barley feeling right at home on this South Circuit, and that's what's awarded him the win. Let's go down to J-Mac talking to James Abbott.
Jabbett, an unfortunate loss against Mitch Doyle, mate. It's a tough one, but he is on an absolute tear today, isn't he?
Oh man, coming up, I was amazed at the speed his car had. Up against Angus, we felt like we were way off the pace. We put a lot more grip into the car for that one. I think it caught me unawares. I come up short on the inside clip there. Just didn't have a chance to feel out how that grip would affect the car. But at the end of the day, we've had an awesome time out here driving the Hi-Tec Oils S15. It's been an awesome opportunity this year, and if I said before, if there was nothing else we could achieve with this year, it was to get the car right, and I feel like we've done that. The car is now fast, and I think a few more laps, I think we're ready for round one.
Jab seems keen for round one, but there's plenty more battles to go before we round out 2019 with Anthony Billick now leading Danny Probert in X-Drift, the Barra-powered XD Falcon. Beautifully set up in the cabin there, and Danny Probert knows exactly what to do with it. But Anthony Billick, so familiar with Sydney South Circuit, and you can see that in the way he attacks the judge line here, all over the outside clip and nailing the inside clips up the hill.
Yeah, it's good to see. This is one of the better chases we've seen from Danny Probert. Right behind there, Anthony Billick. A little bit slow on the initiation there, but again, dialing it straight back through the middle section, right up onto the door there of Anthony Billick over the finish line.
We'll switch him around now, riding on board with Anthony Billick as he chases down Danny Probert. Both cars aggressive on the entry here, nailing the inside clip. Let's see how wide they go to this outside judge zone here. Danny going nicely, but not quite as deep as Anthony Billick did. And then with the wide run there from Danny Probert, I'd say that's a fatal mistake.
Yeah, unfortunately, looking like that was a big mistake by Danny Probert. Here we are on the Good Ride replay. Anthony Billick right to that outer clipping zone in the chase. Right through the inside, door is left wide open by Danny Probert, and that's what's handed him the win.
Probert's going to be stoked with that. On to the next battle now. We have Michael Bonney leading Beau Yates, whose bonnet we are riding on now. That Toyota Genuine Parts 8.6 is an absolute machine, but so is Michael Bonney there. And look at the dive from Beau. Massive speed in the middle section before they climbed up the hill there, but then Michael Bonney on the power and pulling away over the top.
What an entry there by Michael Bonney, but again, Beau Yates right up on the inside of him, through the smoke. Big dive there, but looking like he went a little bit too wide, and the sheer speed of Michael Bonney in that 1200 horsepower S15 absolutely blazing up the hill.
Man, Bonney's transitions were just so snappy and sharp as well. I love to see that style of driving. And there we have Beau. Very nice faint entry there into big angle as he comes down the hill. Bonney diving through the smoke there. Big lock up and into the dirt. That's got to hurt as Bonney trying to chase down the Toyota Genuine Parts 8.6, making a fatal error that otherwise we could have seen it one more time.
Yeah, absolutely killer speed there by Beau Yates, and right through the smoke with the onboard. As we can see, nowhere to go but off track, handing the win straight over to Beau Yates. Let's go down to J-Mac and having a talk to Hectic Billick.
Anthony Billick on a high after taking out Danny Probert. Probert has been on an absolute tear today. What was it about your run that you think gave you the edge?
I think because I had car issues at time attack, and it was a bit of redemption, a bit of revenge, you know, like I couldn't drive to my full potential, and now the car's working well thanks to the crew. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in top 4, so just G.
Love the enthusiasm, and I can't wait to see Anthony Billick throw down against Beau Yates in our top 4 with Mitch Doyle and Patrick Barley leading the charge here. So each of these drivers, the winner of the battle, will go through to our final, battling it out for the top step and second. while the loser of each battle will face off each other in the fight for third. Speaking of that third place battle, we're about to see that in our Famous Insurance Pro-Am, where Glenn Ormerod now leads Brendan O'Grady.
Glenn, beautiful lead run here by him, right up into the outer clip zone. Brendan O'Grady dialing in that big JZX right behind him. But look at that little KE Sing right to the outside there. Sheer speed from that car. Big switchback again. Absolutely on fire is Glenn Ormerod. Big chase by Brendan Bogger O'Grady as well.
The speed of that lightweight aspirated 13B KE70 Corolla of Glenn Ormerod is just a sight to see up the hill. But Brendan O'Grady throwing down the angle, very aggressive in the chase there. Maybe not the proximity, but all over the line with a lot more aggression in the chase position. Let's switch him around now.
Yeah, seeing him here in his lead run there. Nice entry by both of the boys, and Glenn dialing it right in onto the door there, feeling at home right behind that big JZX. Through the smoke screen, not giving an inch to Brendan O'Grady. Beautiful chase run there by Glenn Ormerod.
A good chase is made by a good lead, and that's exactly what we saw from Brendan O'Grady all the way out to the track edge here. Beautifully driven by Brendan O'Grady, but having that little Corolla just painted all over the back of his JZX 100 saw the judges give the win to Glenn Ormerod. Now, our final battle for the Famous Insurance Pro-Am, we have Adam Burgess leading John Overdouris.
And it's good to see both these boys have been battling for a win all year, and here we are with Adam Burgess in the lead. Beautifully executed run right to the outside there. Jonathan Voudouris right on the inside, making that V8 sing behind that Ford-powered Barra.
A nice battle there from both drivers. Adam Burgess nice and wide on the entry, but John Overdouris showing again that he is not afraid to chase tight, bettering the line of Adam Burgess in every clipping point there on the way up the hill and tucking right into the rear quarter of that XR6 Turbo.
That's a big fine entry there by Jonathan Voudouris. Absolutely schooling Adam Burgess for an entry there, but look, Adam Burgess right through the smoke, back onto the inside there of Jonathan Voudouris, right through the smoke, up again over the hill, both powering on. Big brake job over the hill there from Adam Burgess.
Loves a cook, both of these drivers. John Overdouris leading here in the V8 powered R32 Skyline. Adam Burgess in there and getting in nice and close, but John Overdouris winning the trophy there. He's got to be stoked. That will be his first win in the Pro-Am, and I bet that Czech is going to get a workout tonight.
It's good to see Jono taking his first win of the season in the final round. So that tops your top three there. John Overdouris in first place, Adam Burgess in second, and Glenn Ormerod in third.
This is how the points are shaping up after that. Brendan O'Grady securing himself the championship win by a huge margin. John Overdouris, though, leapfrogging Matty Grice and getting second position with Matt down in third.
The car's surprisingly pretty good. It's just another bumper. It's number 5 for the year. But it was a good day. It's good to finally get the win.
You've been battling with the very best that Australia has to offer, dipping up into Pro for a period today. How did that go?
Pro was awesome. I think the car's built for Pro, and those big grippy tyres definitely helped steer the car a lot better, and hopefully it was just a little bit of light to see what we can do next year or the year after.
Are we looking forward to seeing you in Pro for the next season?
We're going to try and see what we can do. We want to be back next year in Pro. It'd be good.
Yeah, no, it was very good, very fun. I found this track really, really good to drive in this car, and yeah, everybody threw down really well today, so heaps of good battles, heaps of good driving. It was just a good day in general.
We look forward to the future. What does that potentially hold?
Well, I think the Falcon itself, dubbed HMAS, I think is going to be now just a fun car. So it's time to probably build something that's a bit more thoroughbred. So look, whether it's a car that you'll see beginning of next year, midway through next year, I don't know, but there will be something new coming shortly.
Yeah, it was really good. We had good battles all day. It's going to be disappointing to get third place, so I'm really happy to come back here and to prove the Corolla can do it, and just, yeah, thank you.
Pro-Am this round, tell me what lies in the future for Glenn Ormerod?
Yeah, we'll be Pro next year in our new 86, so I'm very happy to get that out, and yeah, just thanks to everyone that's came out to help me today, and family, friends, just yeah, everyone, thank you.
Zoo Performance have jumped on board, as probably you already know. There'll be some Thailand drives, so a bit of international drifting. We've got a Pro car in the build for next year, so our goal was always to step up to Pro. We came to Hi-Tec a couple of years ago and watched around and saw the Pro cars, and I was like, I have to do this. So It's been in the build for about 12 months. We're hoping to have that finished Feb so we can start the round in the Pro class. Chucky, the party car's a little bit tired, so it'll go into retirement for now and just be like a Matsuri car. And I want to focus pretty heavily on the championship next year.
Congratulations to Brennan O'Grady rounding out the season strong and securing himself a championship. So that is our Famous Insurance Pro-Am run and done. But on the other side of the break, we'll have the top 4 and finals of our Pro Series for the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Welcome back to Sydney Motorsport Park South Circuit for round 5 and the final of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars for 2019. Before the break, we saw the final battles of the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Series, and now it's time for the pros to take their turn on this South Circuit layout where we'll see our top 4 and our pro final.
It's good to see our boys here in the pits getting ready for their final battle in the top 4. They're going to secure a spot there for the first or third place battle. These boys all the way from the Northern Territory. Let's see who can take it out.
The two S13 Sylvias we saw on screen there were of Mitchell Doyle and Patrick Barley. Now, these Northern Territorians have been battling it out for years up in the northern end, and Mitchell Doyle is yet to defeat Patrick Barley, so he's going to be hungry for that scalp. On the other side of the battle tree, we have Anthony Billick up against Beau Yates, which is sure to be one hell of a battle.
As you said there, this is one of the battles that I've been looking forward to all day. We have Patrick Barley in the chase, Mitchell Doyle in the lead. He's been doing massive entries all day. Let's see what he can dial in against Patrick Barley. Yet again, big one by Mitchell Doyle. We can hear the clutch kick right through, absolutely frying those tyres, and Patrick Barley diving straight on the back there of Mitchell Doyle. Right through the inner clip zone, looking like he's bettering the line right through, dialing up the inside, and big speed over the finish line in front of the judges.
Really nice lead run there from Mitch Doyle, but Patrick Barley right there with him through the smoke there, tucking in nicely. Beautiful emulation around this clipping point here where Patrick Barley tucks right in, showing superior speed, but Mitch Doyle nailing those clipping points. Let's turn him around.
Yeah, Mitchell Doyle now in the chase. Let's see how he can go with Patrick Barley in the lead. Nice entry there by Patrick Barley. Mitchell Doyle's been on the chase hard all day, but a little bit of gap there with the speed from Patrick Barley's S13. Right through that outer clipping zone. Big switchback there by Mitchell Doyle. Right up onto the rear quarter, through the smoke, and again over the top of the hill. Patrick Barley setting a nice lead run there.
Patrick Barley's sprint car engined S15 fronted S13 is just such a quick car up the hill, but Mitch Doyle also has that power and grip. So as much as Patrick Barley managed to gap him a little bit in the middle, I think on the summary of those 2 runs, it was quite fair, and I'm glad to see these guys going one more time.
Oh, this is a one more time that you'd love to see, and we've got it here for all you fans. Patrick Barley right up on the inside there. Nice lead run there by Mitchell Doyle. Big switchback right up onto the clipping zone and absolutely torching it right over the hill. And Patrick Barley getting lost in the smoke there.
I think you're right, Jake, and this is going to be where we see it as they come up over the hill. So Patrick Barley nice and close there, but on the switchback, just having a moment of straightening and in car. You can see he's quite busy there, grabbing handbrake, grabbing the wheel, but not quite managing to maintain drift, and I think that's going to be a deduction in the judges' eyes.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here on Patrick Barley, knowing that this is the one that's going to get him through for the battle for first. Nice run there by Mitchell Doyle, right through, staying out of trouble there with a big entry there by Patrick Barley. And again, Mitchell Doyle showing I'm comfortable in the chase and right up on the back quarter of that car.
Let's watch them run again as we ride on board with Mitch Doyle here. Nice entry there from Patrick Barley, but both these drivers together. Barley pulling away a touch as he gets on the power, but allowing Mitch Doyle to dive in there and give us a bird's eye view of this little bobble that will have contributed to Patrick Barley's loss, and Mitch Doyle getting the win.
Again, over to the other chase by Beau Yates against Anthony Billick here. Big entry there by Anthony Billick, almost turning that car backwards. A little bit too much cook on the outside there, pushing it too far to the outer zone. And again through the section there, tyres right off the track. Beau Yates staying nice, composed and on track right behind Anthony Billick over the finish line.
That's got to be gutting for Billick because he had quite a lot of speed there on the entry and kept Beau on the power behind him, but it just seems that little S13 washed a touch too wide there, dropping wheels through the outside, while the Toyota Genuine Parts 8.6 hangs back a little bit as Beau takes that advantage that he gets from Billick's mistake and now turns it round into his lead run.
Beau Yates in the Toyota Genuine Parts 86 with a nice entry right through that clipping zone. Absolutely on the throttle stop, pushing that car to its limits. Smoke pouring off, but Billy diving through that smoke, trying to stick with it, but unfortunately, so much speed out of Beau Yates' car.
Billick powering through with the little SR20 that could up around the 400 kilowatt mark. This thing torches and managed to stick to the rear bumper of that Toyota Genuine Parts 86, but unable to overcome his previous mistake. Let's head down to the pits with J-Mac now.
Doyle, the Nightcliff Electrical S13 has been on song all day long, but its toughest test is yet to come with Beau Yates in this final battle. What are the nerves doing?
Pretty nervous. That's actually the first time I've ever beaten Patrick, including in Darwin, so I'm pretty pumped. The thing's on song, the Dewars engine's just singing, so it's got a bit hot that one, but I'm going to give Beau a good crack. I've been doing well today, so we'll see how we go.
You've really been adhering to the judges' line quite well in comparison to the rest of the crew running here today. Beau Yates has been variable. Do you think you have enough to get over the line ahead of him?
I was doing a good clean lead. My chase has been unreal, probably the best thing I've been doing all day, so I'll give him a good chase.
Feeling confident, glad to see it.
Thanks, mate.
Mitch Doyle understandably stoked, getting the chance to go up against Beau the Show Yates, with Patrick Barley, his fellow Territorian, finding himself in the third place battle where he'll be duking it out with Anthony Billick to see which one of those drivers can go home with that third place trophy.
Yeah, that's a big upset for Patrick Barley. Not yet ever falling short to Mitchell Doyle, which is good to see. Now Mitchell Doyle getting ready to dial it up with the battle for first.
First, though, we're going to see the battle for third, where Anthony Billick will be leading Patrick Barley. These two Sylvias couldn't be any more different. Patrick Barley that we're riding on board with now, big power sprint car carbureted V8 with something a bit more modern and traditional in Anthony Billick's car, that highly strung turbocharged SR20. Listen to these two things sing. Snappy transitions from the two drivers as they come past that clipping point and up over the hill. Patrick Barley right there with Billick the whole way through.
Yeah, absolutely crazy chase there by Patrick Barley against hectic Billick. But beautiful lead run there by Billick right to that outer clipping zone. Not as much as his usual form, but again setting a clean, smooth lead run for Patrick Barley to give a good chase right over the line.
It's interesting to see how much Patrick Barley used that self-steering of that car there, just hands off the wheel, playing with the handbrake, and it's a sign of a very well set up car. Let's turn him around now. Patrick Barley aggressive on that entry, but Billick matching that style, angle and speed. Let's see as they switch back together. Billick just a little bit shallow there, potentially getting lost in the smoke, but back there with Patrick Barley as they come up over the hill. Barley just pulling away through that final zone.
Barley's car just seems to be so snappy through that transition. We'll get a close look in this replay here. We can see pushing it right to the outside, leaving Billick a little bit of a gap there to dive straight back in, but that big snappy transition riding on board as we can see the smoke, and Patrick Barley taking the win.
Big result. That means Patrick Barley will be getting a trophy, and just pipping Anthony Billick at the post. He's going to be gutted with that, but a top 4 result, you still go home with a smile. I think both of these drivers are going to be going home with a smile, though, because this is our final. Beau Yates in the chase. We have Mitch Doyle leading. Two drivers who've had an incredible season thus far, and Beau Yates likely secured himself the championship already, but he's still going to go hard, and we can see that here early on in that chase. He's tucking, he's weaving and emulating beautifully behind Mitch Doyle, driving by memory through that smoke screen. Wow.
The good ride replay absolutely showing skill here for Mitchell Doyle in the lead, cooking his tyres right through to that outer clipping zone, but no room is left there by Beau Yates, sitting in that smoke stream all the way through up over the hill. That man is all class.
Mitch Doyle, though, putting on a fantastic lead run that allowed that chase. So as we turn him around, let's see how keen Mitch Doyle gets. He knows he's going to have to pull something special out on this run. Beau Yates in the lead there on the power early in that Toyota Genuine Parts 86, flexing its power, but Mitch Doyle able to keep up with that road speed, trying his best to reel Beau Yates in, but as the smoke clears, there is a clear lead there for Beau.
The Toyota Genuine Parts 86 has been dialed in all day. That smoke train has been long and far all the way past that car. We can see Mitchell Doyle struggling to see through the smoke all the way through that top clipping zone, and that's why Beau Yates has taken the win.
Beau, the show is all smiles as he receives that trophy, not only for the round 5 win that we see here with Mitch Doyle and Patrick Barley getting second, but also securing himself a championship win for 2019 and the second year in a row. Securing himself a 201-point lead to win the 2019 Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Championship. Matt Van Kirk, the international who surprised us in round 1, has managed to hold on to his strong results the whole way through, get himself second place in the championship, while Scott Shembry gets the 3rd place trophy just in front of his Blaze Unit teammate James Abbott.
Beau Yates, the Toyota Genuine Parts 8.6, did you proud again today. Congratulations with another victory.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it was a pretty hard slog week, actually. We had the engine, only received the engine from Toyota on Wednesday afternoon, and just a big shout out to my team, everyone involved, Toyota Genuine Parts, Hypertune, Komatsu, Will at JHH Racing, everyone in my program and doing what we do allows me to come out here today and do what we do. So another first place this weekend, and obviously wrapped up the championship, and just an awesome year, mate. Like 2019, it's been a good year, so I'm just really stoked.
Hi-Tec Drift Australia back at the South Circuit at Sydney Motorsport Park. Tell me, how did this layout suit you and your style of driving?
Yeah, to be honest, like I love South Circuit, right? Like it's so cool. Like I'm just around the corner here, and it's nice just to be back on this international raceway. So, look, to be honest, I'm a bit frazzled. Like I've had a big week leading up, so to be honest, I thought my battles were a bit scrappy, but we turned it on, top 4 final, and look, just really happy to be back on the South Circuit and everything the guys are doing with Hi-Tec and stuff. It's really starting to build momentum. So onwards and upwards, and 2020 looks like a pretty good year.
There's some great drivers coming up through the ranks. Who are you keeping your eye on?
Yeah, obviously young Paddy's doing well, Patrick from the NT, but Mitch Doyle, like he's been here all year as well, and see him on the podium and share some champagne with him this afternoon was fantastic. So just everyone's going hard, mate. Like we're all at very similar levels, and it just whether it's your luck on the day.
Let's talk about the 2020 season for Hi-Tec Drift Australia. Where does that see Beau Yates and the Toyota Genuine Parts 8.6?
Well, look, you know, I want to go for 3 in a row, so that's 2 in a row this year. We'll be back next year to try and retain that championship and the title, and look to go back-to-back. Well, 3 in a row come 2020, and look, it's only just around the corner, so we're going to come out the backside of Christmas and pretty much be straight into another 5-6 round championship. So look, we've got a little bit of work to do in the off-season because these cars are getting pretty quick now, and there's some guys definitely giving us a bit of a nudge. So we're going to have a look at the car, pull it down, go back to Will JHH, work on that old engine, get the horsepower back up, because we're down on horsepower this weekend as well. But look, we're just super stoked with a good result again this year, and 2020 we're just hoping to make it better.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Mitch Doyle making it 2 from 3 for Territorians in the top 3. Congratulations on a runner-up position, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's pretty enjoyable to put this much effort in. The amount of travel time we do to get these events and actually get an event, a good placing in event is quite happy.
We've watched you progress over the course of the 2019 season. What were some of the aspects of your driving that you really had to grind away at to improve?
Probably my confidence on chasing and actually getting on the door on entry, not giving a gap and trying to catch back up. Because in Darwin it works. Unfortunately here, the guys are quick and they don't leave you anything. So you got to be on the door to start with.
The competition has been fierce throughout the entire season. We're looking forward to next season. Are you planning on changing anything?
Probably not. Probably give the car a bit of a freshen up. Actually, it's going to go on trailer in one piece, and that Dewars engine just sings. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm keen to come back. I've spoken to George. We'll be back next year.
We're looking forward to it.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Patrick Barley here all the way from the Northern Territory, and our youngest competitor here today at the championship finale. Congratulations on taking 3rd place.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a tough one out there with Billick. Just had to set my marks and do what we've been doing all day, and yeah, thankfully came away with 3rd place.
You had a fantastic car underneath you, a well-prepped crew. It really did just come down to you. If there was one thing that you could improve, what would it have been?
Going faster. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we've had the car a bit too grippy all year, and for the first time we managed to unhook it, thankfully. So I was able to steer the car around the track. Now it's time to get some speed back into it and get on people's doors.
We're looking forward to it. What does the future hold?
So we're looking to come back next year, bigger and better as always. We got a new motor in the works after a couple blow-ups this year, hopefully with a little bit more security in it, and we're hoping to put it on the podium a few more times.
What a way to end 2019, but the action will roll through into 2020, where we'll have round 1 back here at Sydney Motorsport Park on the 14th and 15th of February, with both of those dates meaning we have a drift for real the day before.
Round 2 will be heading down to Winton Motor Raceway on Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th.
And then up to Queensland Raceway for Friday the 24th and 25th of July.
And round 4 for a brand new track for all these guys at the Bend Motorsport Park.
Oh, I can't wait for the Bend. And then we're back here at Sydney Motorsport Park for the final once more, and that'll be our round 5. We have victory skids up here now, and while we've got such a fantastic backdrop, we just love to thank a few of our sponsors. First and foremost, Hi-Tec Oils for starting and continuing to run the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. We wouldn't be able to put on this show without George and the team at Hi-Tec, so thank you so much for backing Australian drifting and putting it back on the map.
And it's good to see all our Tier 1 sponsors. Thank you to Good Ride, Kid and Ultra, CRC Industries, and the team from Famous Insurance. Without your support for this series, it will be a hard one to put on for the fans.
We can't wait for everyone to join us back in 2020, where we'll have that full 5-round calendar up and down the East Coast, making drifting a national sport in Australia once more. I've thoroughly enjoyed this 2019. David Carter here, signing off in the commentary booth with Jake Kennedy. We can't wait to see you next year.